There once lived a little boy named Arav. He was 6 years old, full of questions and dreams. Every morning he would sit by the window, look up at the sky, and watch the clouds drift slowly. He often wondered, where does God live? Why can't I see him? One bright morning, Arav went to his mother and asked, Mom, where does God live? His mother smiled gently and said, God is everywhere, my dear. You just have to feel him. Arav tilted his head and thought for a moment, everywhere? But if he's everywhere, then I should be able to find him, right? His mother laughed softly and stroked his hair. Maybe someday you will. That night, as Arav lay in bed, he kept thinking about her words. He stared at the moonlight shining through his window and whispered to himself, tomorrow, I'll go find God. The next morning, as the sun began to rise, Arav packed his little backpack. Inside, he placed an apple, some biscuits, and a bottle of water. He looked at the sky, took a deep breath, and said, I'm going to meet God today. His mother laughed as he walked out the door. And where will you find him? She asked. Where the sky ends. Arav answered with a grin, and off he went. Arav walked through the busy streets of his town. He saw children playing, a man cutting wood, a dog drinking from a puddle, and a woman selling flowers. He looked at everyone carefully, thinking, maybe God is one of them? But no one looked like the God he imagined. As the sun grew warmer, Arav began to feel tired. His little legs ached, and his stomach rumbled. Just then, he saw a small park ahead, full of green grass and tall trees. He walked in and found a wooden bench under a large tree. Sitting there was an old woman, her hair white as snow, her clothes simple, and her eyes gentle but tired. Arav sat quietly beside her. The old woman turned her head and smiled. Her smile was soft, kind, the kind that makes you feel safe without saying a word. Arav opened his backpack and pulled out his biscuits. When he saw that she looked hungry, he held one out to her. The woman blinked in surprise. For me? She asked softly. Arav nodded. Yes, you can have it. I brought extra in case God was hungry. Woman laughed, a warm laugh that echoed through the park. Oh, you're looking for God? She asked, breaking the biscuit in half. Yes, Arav said, I want to meet him. I want to see what he looks like. Woman thought for a moment, then said kindly, sometimes meeting God doesn't mean you have to go far. Sometimes you just have to share what you have. Smile. Arav didn't really understand, but he liked her smile. Sat there together, sharing biscuits, the apple, and sips of water from his bottle. Birds chirped above them and the sunlight filtered softly through the leaves. For a moment, Arav forgot all about finding God. He was just happy sitting there. As the sun began to set, the sky turned orange and pink. Arav stood up and brushed the crumbs from his lap. I have to go home now, he said politely. The old woman smiled again. All right, little one, be safe. Arav looked at her carefully and said, it was really nice meeting you, God. The woman's eyes filled with tears. She didn't say a word, only smiled. That same bright, peaceful smile. Arav waved goodbye and ran off down the path, his small shadow stretching behind him in the golden light. When Arav reached home, his mother was waiting at the door. Arav, where have you been? You look so happy. He dropped his backpack and hugged her tightly. Mom, I met God today. His mother laughed, thinking he was joking. You did? And what did God look like? Arav smiled wide. She's very kind, and she has the most beautiful smile. At that same moment, across the town, the old woman walked into her small home. Her daughter noticed the joy on her face and asked, Mom, why are you smiling so much today? The woman sat down slowly and said, I met a little boy in the park today. God sent him to share biscuits and a smile with me. That night, as Arav fell asleep, he looked out his window once more. The sky was full of stars, quiet, glowing, peaceful. He whispered softly, Good night, God. And somewhere, perhaps beyond the clouds, a gentle voice seemed to answer back.